Mix in some vodka and call it a podcast. From the Mac of All Trades studio in Fairport and driven by Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, it's Billified, the Bill Moran Podcast.
Well, hello and welcome. We're on the cameras tonight. I didn't go live yesterday. You got to do it twice. I don't know. I blame the weather. I blame the weather. That's what I blame. Yeah. How about that? Weather has been pretty nice, and then we always get that. I'm hoping this is the last little burst of winter we get, but I don't know if you notice this. People are in crankier moods. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I believe that.
Crankier moods when the weather's not good.
I get migraines due to the weather, and I wonder if the weather with the barometric pressure
do you get your
plays with
period
our
too?
moods. I do.
Do you like how I dismiss your pain?
Yes.
And just mock it
Heavy
in a
day.
misogynistic, awful, toxic masculinity way?
Well, your liver's trying to compensate for whatever's going on in your body that's missing. And so the pressure has a lot to do with that. They say when full moon, people get weird.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Oh, they turn into werewolves.
Yeah, right. Or dire wolves. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing that I've noticed. Sometimes when you get a good snowstorm or a good rainstorm, it's an excuse to be a slug. People, right? I mean, all of a sudden you're doing nothing. It's like a day you don't really live. You just shut it down. You lay on the couch, right? And
see, I can't do that. I got to do something.
Oh, it's a mental health day, or it's a, you know what I mean? Some under the guise of that. And
but if it's a mental health day, people make an announcement. They put out a press release. I am taking a mental health day. But if it's a day that's sluggish, people just want to be. Oh, I got an excuse to be lazy.
I haven't been talking about this whole lot, but I substitute teaching. I got to do things right.
Mm-hmm.
So and these are now really young kids that I'm around, and
like the Baldwins.
The Baldwins,
Alec Baldwin's kids,
yeah. Like they're little kids.
Yeah.
And so there's this woman, and she's older, and she says, she makes up her own holiday. Be nice to Mrs. Whoever Day. I pass her in the hallway, and she goes, "It's already a 2 martini day. That means 6 olives." And I was like, "That's fucking awesome." She just said it to me. I really, this school, I love it.
Is this teacher about your age, a little older, a little younger?
I can't tell ages anymore.
Okay,
I can't tell ages.
But that goes to show you how hard teaching really is.
Well,
even though you're only doing it, quote, only
this
doing
lady,
it 10 months a year. I got to be careful.
Yeah, this lady. Oh, what are you doing?
No, I'm just saying it's hard.
A hard job.
I've always defended.
No, you have not.
Yes, I have.
No, that was an underhanded Danny.
No,
that was one of Danny's iPod shuffle of shit.
Because people tend to crap on teachers.
Who?
Oh, everybody.
You?
I don't.
Yes.
I don't. My only thing with teachers is this: when they complain,
you get a lot of time off, and you get a whole summer off, and you do nothing.
Yeah. When they complain, they have to understand why people say that stuff. That's all. I'm not saying that I disagree with them. I'm saying there are some of us that don't get vacations at all.
Yeah. Well,
the average American works 320 days a year. They work 180. So when they get mad that people don't understand their pain, but it's like they get time off, and that's okay. They have a tough job. I wouldn't want to be a teacher.
All right, hang on now.
We're going to, sorry.
No, that's okay. Because I was going to say, the weather and we become lazy slugs. But that went into Danny thinks teachers are lazy slugs. That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
Did you heard? That's not what I said. It's not what I said.
I know it's not what you said. I do know.
I got to be careful because my wife gets really angry.
No.
And I was defending her in that statement. Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, my gosh.
Teaching is tough because you've got a bunch of different personalities. There isn't sometimes the budget to get the certain kids the specific need.
Right.
It's the kid with the most need, right? So
yeah, they go.
You ever see adults?
The biggest common denominator.
Well,
not the lowest, the biggest.
I'm going to give you an example. You ever see an adult with a speech impediment, and you go, "How is that possible today when there's speech pathology and stuff?" Well, if the family didn't have the resources to do it privately, and this kid wasn't so bad, and there were kids that were worse and needed more speech intervention than he did, he or she got left out because of budgets. So now you're trying to teach that kid, you're trying to get them to meet a certain standard, get a curriculum right, get them through the day, have them actually pay attention. And it is one of these things that's hard because like I go in there and I'm a clown. I juggle, I do shit. It doesn't matter. I could do anything. And I like the kids because I'm kind of meeting them where they are. I can. The teacher at this point in the year really can't. They've got to get you ready for whatever's next.
Yes.
Whether it be the next grade, the finals,
the
regions,
next day, even
whatever. But you've got to get these kids to a certain standard. And that stuff is stressful. And many teachers also have another job. So like I know one that teaches gym, and then on the weekends, she's a waitress.
Oh, yeah.
I know one that teaches first grade, and she's been doing it for over 2 decades. And she
bartends.
No, she maybe she did. Right now, she's doing Instacart.
Oh, yeah. A lot of teachers do that.
Yeah. So they go and she goes, and yes, I mean, I understand what you're saying because your day is short. Look, I'm going in, I'm doing that. I'm up here in the morning. I go, I do this, I come back, I do this. But I'm different. I'm nuts in a nutty way. Like I'll work all the time. I don't care.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I like playing.
I'm kind of the same way.
I
don't have kids though, so I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough sometimes.
Kevin reminds me of that.
Yeah.
But you know what Danny has? What? Time. He's right.
Danny also says teachers suck.
I never said that. I never said that.
I know you didn't say that. I know. But I also think like when the weather's bad too, and you're stuck inside, you start to find all the shit that annoys you about the other people around you. Chew too loud, right? It's almost like vacuum. Everything that you normally look past. Yeah. Oh God, it's right there.
Yeah. We worked with a woman named Amanda Valentine, whom like if you were chewing your gum too loud in the studio, she would like pick up on it. Like she had like dog ears for that. And she was like, she would not me personally, but other people in the room, like Moose, I guess. He goes, "Oh yeah, Amanda yelled at me the other day for chewing my gum too loud." Man. It's like she's got special hearing.
You didn't know.
But yeah, when you're locked in the studio, like for doors closed, you're gonna hear weird stuff, especially when you got headphones. Same thing when you're at home. You get the 2 of you or the 3 of you. Like my father used to get he'd come home from the steel plant so high strung. And if it were one of those days where nobody could do anything, he'd be more angry because he was always like, "Let's clean." Well, Dad, we already cleaned. Let's clean again. And if we weren't doing something, if they're idle bodies, then he would get angry that nobody was working. But there was nothing to work on. It was like the kiss of death. Oh, it's raining out. We're in trouble. Why? We just are.
Yeah, because you knew, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you
have to chew with your mouth open?
We used to. I used to be able to tell when my parents turned onto our street.
You could hear the vehicle.
Yeah, I knew the sound.
Like dogs, like they hear
exactly
the owner, the sound of the car.
I knew it, and I would be like running, diving.
Oh yeah, me too.
Whatever.
Get the vacuum. Get the vacuum. Butchie's coming home. Get the vacuum. My sister and my brother are listening to this podcast. They know exactly what I'm talking about. I'd have to go meet them at the front door and stall to get everybody in their positions. I told a story at his funeral. You know that scene in Jurassic Park where like the water's sitting there in the car and
yeah. It starts to rattle.
Right. Yeah. He would get like that. And my father had to wear special glasses because he was cross-eyed as a kid. So if he got into those moods, his hands would curl up. His hands would curl up like one of those Jurassic Park dinosaurs. I told this story at his funeral. And I'd tell my brother, "Don't move. He can't see us if we don't move." His vision's based on movement. He come walking around like if something wasn't clean or we didn't do something right, or he turned into Jurassic Park in BVDs. Especially like Christmas morning.
Danny came in here tonight and he was like, I told him it was an iPod shuffle of thoughts. He was all over the place. Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
Is it? We should have taped it.
It was funny. It was funny to me. I just started laughing. And then you see, I think you think like I laugh at you. I don't. I just laugh at how wound up you get, because then you did say, and we had talked about this on the previous podcast that you were on like 2 episodes ago, where we talked about the diet and the East African diet,
Yes.
and how they ate a Western diet for 2 weeks, and like
You can call it American.
they gained basically 6 pounds in 2 weeks.
They each have arthritis
on average, and they had a lot of damage. And Danny's like, I'm afraid to eat. And I knew it.
Everything's
Why?
got poison in it. Microplastics, hormonal disruptors.
Okay.
Aluminum.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Not really afraid to eat everything.
No, but that's a lot in your head. Like this goes through. This is
Do you know how much weight I gained on my birthday weekend?
How much?
8 pounds.
Damn, dude.
Now, I've already dropped 6 of it.
Okay.
But like when you lose those
good shit,
you don't realize that, oh my gosh, it's over. I blew my whole weight loss. It's like, no, Dan, just calm the F down. Everything's going to be okay. But I have to take extreme measures to lose that weight. Like eating 1 meal a day.
Yeah.
Or really checking the labels on stuff, because for some reason my body doesn't process carbohydrates. I've taken the test. It just doesn't happen. But the doctors don't give you any tips on how to do that. That's why you go to YouTube, because you're looking for answers.
Somebody just wrote in cross-eyed. I'm fucking sorry, Danny, but that was funny as fuck and explains nothing.
It's true. Well, because we if he was in a mood, all of a sudden
he couldn't.
Here's the example.
Did your dad's eye, was it always crossed?
It was crossed as a kid. He had surgery to get it back to normal.
Yeah, but he couldn't see well.
No, he had to have special glasses, and which is weird because he was a good-looking dude, but he had glasses. Not that good-looking people you can't be good-looking and have glasses. But what I forgot to tell in the story was that usually it was because we lost the remote. And if he couldn't find the remote, he would turn into the Jurassic Park dinosaur to find, and we'd have to, or if he couldn't find the remote, I would have to sit there by the television and change the channels until Dad found something worth watching.
Oh my God.
Because all the other kids would scatter. And who's left? Danny.
I'm going to throw up.
Danny will do it. Danny will fix it.
Stop. I had a big bowl of pasta with meatballs before I came here.
Microplastics.
What?
No, I'm just saying the pasta could have Did you cook it in? What'd you cook it in?
I cooked it in a steel pot.
Okay, good.
But I might have had a Teflon pot for the sauce and meatballs.
There you go, microplastics. See what I'm talking about?
All right. But you get yourself all bent out of shape. If you look for something, you're going to find it.
Oh, I know.
You're going to find it.
Yeah.
So why? What would be better? What would be better? Laughing about your dad or worrying about the microplastics?
Right, exactly.
Laughing
about butcher.
Drinking it out of this.
Right.
I'd buy these by the case. I think about it once in a while. I mean, the other day, I pissed out an entire bottle. Came right out. It's like, hey, all plastic. I don't know.
But I think a lot of that stuff disrupts our chemistry. I mean, that's the big thing. But then again, I realize, okay, look, do you really want to live here forever, or do you want to go meet Jesus, Danny? So, there's trade-offs.
I can't.
Yeah, I know. I'm all over the place today. I apologize.
I
apologize.
Do you realize that you do that though?
No.
You don't?
I've been diagnosed with ADD.
Okay. All
OCD.
All right.
If it's got an acronym and it's not gay, I have it. Well, because LBGE.
I got what you were saying. Okay. That's what made me laugh. Yeah. Are you? Who diagnosed you?
Psychologist friend, doctor.
Okay, what are you doing?
Psychiatrist.
What are you doing about it?
I've diagnosed myself.
What do you do about it?
Well, a lot of the stuff, you don't want to rely upon medication if you don't have to.
I agree.
So I just remind myself, Dan, this is what you are. It's not who you are. Do I tell myself? And you know what?
God.
My
stomach hurts.
It really works. It works. It's worked.
Dan.
That book you gave me actually was helpful too.
It is a very helpful book, right? Because most of the suffering is
in our head.
Right. It's our thoughts that we're running away from. The very thing we need, but everyone does what you do to some extent.
Right.
You may do it to a greater extent than others, but you do. We all do. And I understand that. But
I'm pretty bad at it.
I can tell.
Yeah, so I've had.
But look, I'll tell you this. I was never Well, I was as an adult. I took a questionnaire with a doctor, like a questionnaire, and they go, "Oh, you're ADD." And so they gave me medication, and it seemed to dull everything, and I stopped taking it.
Yeah.
And I had friends of mine who are I really very close with this family growing up, the Walshes, and they came in here and we did a podcast. One of them still lives in Rochester, and one's in Texas, one's still down in Poughkeepsie, but they were up here and we did a podcast. And the girl who was the woman who was a year older than me or ahead of me in school goes, "You were so ADHD." And she had her best friend here who I used to just torture on the school bus, but not in a way you would think. Like not being mean, not that kind of stuff.
Like friendly teasing, but they didn't know it was friendly teasing.
No.
Okay.
I was teasing, but I was teasing about soap operas. And I would make up because she watched soap operas and they were talking about soap operas. So I would make up stories.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go, wait, oh my God, did you see what happened? And then I'd incorporate their names into the stories and stuff. And she once got off the bus. She turned around and she had her hands in her fists. She went, "Shut up!" Screaming, "Shut up!"
Because you thought you were going to spoil it?
No, because I was torturing her about soap operas and,
Guiding Light. Because Guiding Light was always on.
Do you hide under the covers when they start making out? What happens when people are in bed together to get nervous? All these things. And I was a year younger than them. I was awful. But what I was going to say is the best thing I think you can do for ADHD or ADHD or ADD
or ACDC
is there is a kid who had a T-shirt once that has the
ADHD.
Yeah, ADHD.
And the ACDC logo.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
Logo. Is I would say some kind of repetitive exercise almost every day. Like when I was running, I noticed my grades, my concentration, everything went up. When I was on the track team, and sometimes I was more middle distance, I'd have to go out and crank out 8 to 10 miles, and I was great.
Because you were focused. You knew how to manufacture your time.
Well, it wasn't even manufacture your time. It was just that repetitive thing. Whatever it did inside your body, it burned off like this excessive energy. And you actually, and I think most people who work out, like I'm now to the point where I'm going, I got to get up at 5 o'clock and go to the gym. My alarm went off this morning and I didn't get out of bed until 5:45. But 5 o'clock, get up and go to the gym.
Yeah. I mean, my father was a creature of routine too. Like when he hurt his knee, he was about to be promoted after 33 years. He was like Sipowicz in NYPD Blue, and he finally got the job to be the chief.
Oh my God.
My father became a foreman. So the day he's supposed to take the promotion, he ends up tearing his ACL or something.
Celebrating?
No, he was just moving something and he couldn't work again. And that summer he went nuts. All of a sudden, he started like drinking alcohol. He started smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Things that I'd never see my father do in like my 20 years of life. And my father goes, "Danny, it's good for you to see me like this, guy. I know you think I'm some type of folk hero. This is what I used to be before you were born."
Holy shit.
I go,
"Oh,
so you want to go back to those days?" "No, I'm just going through a phase." But he had to have a purpose. He had to have a routine. He had to have something to do.
Oh, this is phenomenal.
Yeah.
This story. I am going to write a show called Silver
Creek. This is just one family.
No,
we were we were considered like the normal people. We had dinner.
Maybe we call it Pine Creek. Because I'm going to incorporate some stories from Pine Plains. Yeah.
By the way, you want to hear a random story about Pine Plains that I heard?
What?
You and I both have Sirius satellite radio.
Yeah.
You ever listen to the U2 channel? They had a guest DJ who was from Rhinebeck.
Okay.
I forgot her name. And she said, "I started listening to U2 in 91. I'm like, I wonder if Billy knows this girl.
What's her name?
Oh, gosh. Emily or something. I don't remember the last name. I didn't catch it. I couldn't rewind it. But I'm like, oh, my gosh. She might know Billy because she went to Rhinebeck.
Yeah. Rhinebeck isn't. Yeah.
Well, she was from Rhinebeck.
Yeah,
so
that's where my mother lives.
Oh, okay.
All right. We will take a moment.
Sorry, that was a lot going on.
Are you okay?
A lot. I'm fine, dude.
All right. Do you want to talk about? Let me see. I have several things. I'm going to give you. We could talk about new slang.
Oh, okay.
And how people are trying to reclaim things and how that is. We can.
So tariffs on that?
Have we outsourced our personalities to algorithms? This is another topic.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's a big one.
Or would you like to talk about? Is it ever too late to start living your best love life? When you talk about living a long time, there's somebody who says they're living their best love life.
Gosh, those are all intriguing topics. I'd like to do all of them. Let's do the love life.
You want to do the love life?
Let's do the love life first.
We will do that.
Okay.
Next, and I hope a brand new song to us from Bruce.
Oh, okay.
Coming next.
She said, now Johnny, love means no more to me than rain in the road rain in the river,
Rain in the river.
in bloody sister ocean of the ground. Her long black hair, neath bed falling down. Like rain in the river. Like rain in the river.
I can see why this song probably didn't get on a record.
I kind of like it though.
Oh, I do. I didn't say it was bad.
No.
It says, but like,
Well, here's the thing: is I think like a lot of artists have unreleased music.
yes.
I think Prince had a whole like catalog of stuff, right?
Mhm.
I think Bruce, who I'm pretty sure sold his catalog.
I know
So-
Kiss sold theirs.
I'm pretty sure Bruce sold his, and I thought it was for like a record amount of money. I thought he got over 500 million or something.
Okay.
But he has albums, unreleased albums, like, and he didn't think this was good enough to go. Now I don't know. That's why I asked, like, why is this coming out? Is it Bruce putting it out? Is it Sony saying, "Hey, man, we paid you," or whoever bought his catalog, and I don't know who that is, said, "We paid you nearly $700 million. We're going to release this other stuff, and you've got to get behind it." I don't know.
Could be.
I
It could be
don't
part of the agreement. I remember when who was it who sold a bunch of the Beatles. I mean, it didn't like McCartney sell the rights to all of his stuff? He and Lennon's book stuff.
I know Michael Jackson had.
He had it. Then he brought it back after
yeah.
Michael died. And I
Right.
think because at some point it's going to go into the public domain and then everybody can just use it for free. So everyone's going to try to cash in now while they can. Kiss sold all their stuff, but part of the agreement is you got to like promote it, I guess. I don't know. But I mean, Bruce is going to play till he dies. You know, I gotta wonder if the Stones are selling off.
I haven't seen that. I don't know. Sell catalog to. All right. Bruce Springsteen sold it to Sony Music in a deal worth over 500 million. That's what I thought. Because most people were selling them for 2 or 3 or 100 million. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
not bad.
A lot of times, like bands will like have records or songs that they want to put on a record, and then they can't put it on the record. Well, back in the old days, you could only fit like 8 songs on an entire album.
Yeah.
So there was a lot more stuff like people from Bruce that they held back versus by guys from bands from the 90s around a CD. You could put more stuff, or you could have a double CD issued. Like Pearl Jam said, when there were certain songs that they put on soundtracks because they sounded too much like all the other songs they had on their albums. So they just put them out in soundtracks. They were just as big.
Look at that.
So,
all right. The question, is it ever too late to start living your best love life? Or does society just want us to believe that?
I think society wants us to believe a lot of things.
Okay. I will, this will take us in several different directions, but if I say this woman's name, I'm not sure you're going to know who it is. Diane Cannon.
Sounds familiar.
Actress. She's 88 years old today.
I think I can almost see her.
She was Oscar nominated. She was married to Cary Grant and had a child with Cary Grant.
Okay.
We'll get to that in a little bit. And she just did an interview at the Hollywood Beauty Awards. And she says she's not only dating, but she's got several special someones, friends with benefits.
Oh,
she's 88.
Well, there's no commitment. You're at that age. You don't want to settle down. You want to be
friends with benefits at 88. They collect Social Security. What is it? What the fuck is it? I was like, well, what does that mean?
Maybe since Elon left Doge, maybe they're getting their Social Security back, and she wants to get in on that. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, when you think, why do we view love, sex, or even situationships as a young person's game, in a sense? But situationships,
I've never heard that term.
You never heard that term?
Situationship.
Yeah, it's a newer social media.
In other words, it's like it's complicated.
I'm in a situationship, kind of, sort of. Let me see your penis. I don't know. Yeah, something like that. I think a lot of people are now in situationships.
Yeah, there's a video of like something that happened a couple weeks ago at a local bar where a guy's got his arm around a chick. I think I talked about this.
Oh, and he was making out with somebody else.
Yeah, yeah. She was making, and the dude with the camera looks at the other guy and goes, "What the?" That sounds like a situationship.
Yeah. I mean, Diane Cannon's got more action at 88 than most of us did, probably like in college or something like that. She's not in retirement, Danny.
Well,
She's in refirement, baby.
Well,
woo!
Yeah, well, at that age, you could get that fire back in many ways. I think in a lot of cases, well, Jennifer Goodrich, right? She played Stifler's mom.
Yeah.
Because of that, she all of a sudden started having relations with the younger guys because it was cool.
Like 200 guys.
Yeah, it was cool to be with Stifler's mom, and she went along with it because she goes, I'm not going to get this kind of. Well, I don't know if she said this, but she may have been thinking, I'm not going to get this kind of attention anywhere else. I think you're Diane Cannon. You might be 88, but you're still Diane Cannon, right? So guys who remember Diane Cannon probably want to live out a fantasy. It may not be the Diane Cannon of 1955.
No.
But it's Diane Cannon, right? Like Raquel Welch.
I saw something. Since you just say this, 1955. I saw. You know how this is really funny. You know how they maybe you did it in your house in Silver Creek, mark the height of the kids.
Yes,
on a wall, and you can see how
my brother does that. Yeah.
So, somebody did it with their droopy boobs. It goes
19, 24.
I fucking love it.
31.
I go, that's really funny. I had not seen that. Had you?
I've heard of it,
You've heard of it?
I've seen the cartoon of people.
This was someone actually doing it on TikTok.
Oh, okay,
and it made me laugh because let me just go back again. Misogynistic, toxic masculinity. That's me. I
hate that term.
I do too because it's not true.
It's society being trying to pushify
dumb.
boys and men. And guess what? They're fighting back. And good. I'm glad.
Diane Cannon's gonna do a video. Golden Girls Gone Wild. So the question is, when you think 88, look, I can't imagine. I mean, my dad will be 80. My uncle is 81, his brother. My aunt is going to be 80. I can't imagine them still getting it on, but I would think if I was there, I'd want to still get it on.
Oh yeah, probably.
Don't you think?
Of course.
And
yet, men, that's why it's so hard because men could do that. Women can't necessarily do that.
So then there's like hormone replacement stuff, but I'm starting to think because you're warned about side effects of things. That's why, like under a doctor's care, like your friend that we had in here, I think even for women it could probably be okay because I don't know. I mean, does it still feel good after menopause? I have no idea. But this again is where, and I said this, and I don't know if you were here or not, but I asked, I might have been Mark, if you could go back and would you take like a sex class from a sex therapist? Would you just, I don't know, up your game a little bit or just have more knowledge? Because there's nothing like, does this feel good? I know you like this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, at any age, I'm sure even at 90, I'll shit my dentures.
Turn to a Dane Cook special.
Well, was that?
He did that whole bit. Do you like that? Do you like that?
Oh, I didn't know.
I never thought he was that funny, but he for a while, like the early 2000s.
Yeah, he was big.
College women loved him.
Yeah,
the guys would go along with it because he was like that sophomoric type of humor.
Right.
But it wasn't like stand up. It was more, I don't know how to explain. Storytelling. Type of stuff.
I thought, he was okay.
We did a whole bit where like, hey, like a guy and a girl getting, do you like that?
Yeah.
Do you like that? Does that feel good? Do you like that?
Now, but that's why I'm saying, like, even at 88, maybe there's things you don't like or whatever. Could you go take a class? And I know it sounds ridiculous and almost embarrassing, but I'm like, maybe you should do that. So if you wound up in that situationship, that could become a relationship, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, like with Zoom, I think you could do that, or Teams or whatever.
Yes, you could do it where you don't have to go somewhere.
Yes.
Right. I mean, find out what kind of lube works best.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do I need to lube my finger? Whatever. You get the idea. Here's the interesting thing about Diane Cannon. Diane Cannon was married to Cary Grant. She met Cary Grant when she was 25.
By the way, Cary Grant, when they say who's buried in Grant's tomb, it is Cary Grant that they're referring to.
Oh, Okay.
That was from the Golden Girls.
Look at this.
Rose was on Jeopardy.
Yeah.
And she beat Dorothy because Dorothy said, "Who is Ulysses S. Grant?" And Alex said, "No, it's Cary Grant."
Cary Grant was 58. She met him. She was 25. He was 58.
And back then, nowadays
what?
that's May, December. Back then they had to be like BC AD.
I guess so. Okay.
You
All
know?
right. Okay. She married him when he was 61 and she was 28. And they had a child together. Child is now probably near 60 herself. I think David Spade, I'm not sure, has a stand-up bit about dating. Somebody in that Adam Sandler group, and I thought it was Spade, has a bit about dating Cary Grant's daughter and going to the house and the door opening up. Well, hello. Come on in. So Diane Cannon, look, it's a 33-year age gap. 33-year age gap. Wild. And she said it was like a whirlwind romance. And she's done that mini series. It's called Archie. I don't know if anybody's watched it. Okay. It's about Cary Grant's life. She wrote a book where she said a lot of nasty things about Cary. She said like he would, what led to the divorce more or less was he would follow her around and say, "Why is there not a coaster underneath your glass? How come this is still a mess? Pull yourself together. You're starting to put on some weight, darling."
Oh, there's a few age gaps.
Yeah, so it's like, yes, but
Jurassic, Triassic, Cretaceous.
It's like, yeah, and I don't know what. But she looks back now, she said, after healing from the divorce, and she got married, I think, again, but so did Cary.
Oh, wow.
After the divorce, he married a woman named Jennifer. Jennifer, I believe, was 33. Cary Grant was 77.
44 years.
Holy
cow, that's like my entire lifetime.
Your entire life. People. Yes, between two people. And I go, boy, you got an age that you like. I guess that's the age you like.
Well, it's like Leo DiCaprio. He's probably going to continue to do this. Or okay, here's a great one. Mick Jagger. Doesn't Mick Jagger date in the same age group still?
Yeah.
Didn't Pacino just knock up some chick a few years ago?
Yeah.
Who's like in her 20s?
It's weird, though.
Who are?
Yeah, but Cary Grant. And she said Cary Grant was like just charismatic and charming, and you were just in awe of this man. And then
reminds me of somebody I know.
You get to know him a little bit. And who's that?
Me.
Thinking, what the fuck is he know?
I was joking.
See, would have been better if I went, "Oh, Dan, you didn't have to mention it, but I'm right here. I'm sitting right here, Dan." But yeah, she said that he was like just this charming thing. But imagine, she goes, he was older than my dad. Imagine her saying, "I want you to meet," and then I'm gonna marry. Could you fucking imagine?
I want you to meet your uncle.
Wow,
think about that. I mean, that's kind of what you're doing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she said her mother, like, just was in love with Cary. So
no, of course
it was okay.
He probably knew how to schmooze her.
Yeah, Cary Grant was very debonair, and
yeah, the old man was probably a little
Hollywood.
suspicious.
He's a Hollywood legend.
Should be.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. You're basically, it's a child.
Wow. Well, we worked with a guy that a few of the young girls over at the station loved too.
Who?
We worked with a guy. I'm not gonna say who, but like he wouldn't even approach it. But they were like kind of like hitting on him, and he was like, "I'm not going there. Sorry, I'm not doing it. You're way too young. I'm not doing that." You know who? Come on.
I'm stumped.
I'll tell you after. But yeah.
Huh?
There were a couple of ladies. Yeah, there were a couple of girls who were in sales who.
Oh, wait, hang on.
Yeah, kind of,
I don't even know if that's really real.
Oh, I think so.
Nah, not so sure.
But there was about a 25-year gap.
Yeah, but I don't think that was real.
Oh, I think it was.
Nah, I know.
Okay.
I would have too.
Okay.
But I think there was more flirtation and getting the reaction, the attention than there was ever on going through with it.
I didn't think that was the case. I'm sure they enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think so.
It'd be flattering at that age to receive that kind of like attention.
Oh, yeah. Well, the guy would also do things like got a date, and then he'd find out that they canceled on him.
Oh, I didn't know that part. Oh, I didn't know that.
Anyway. God damn it!
Oh, well, okay. I stand corrected, counselor. Objection overruled.
Yeah. What would happen if your sister had brought home at 25 years old a 58-year-old man?
And Butch was still alive?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. He'd be weirded out by it, I think.
Mm.
I think he'd be weirded out because at that point he would have been older than my father. And my father was from a generation where they still took black and white photographs. So that would have been real strange. I mean, he'd be looking at a guy who's basically remembers what the horse and buggy was like.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Like he was at Kitty Hawk when the Wright brothers decided to take flight. I mean, that's that my father would have. I think my father would have an issue with that.
Whose father wouldn't?
But at the same time, though, if it'd be one thing if my sister prepared him for it, and then he got skeptical and he interviewed the guy. It's another thing if it sprung upon you.
What if it was a retired star of the Buffalo Bills?
Like Fred Smirlis?
Yeah. Let's say it was somebody who is successful.
Oh, okay.
Let's say we.
Okay, sure.
No, let's
I
say
think he would have been less skeptical.
Yeah,
because he would have the idea, the psychological idea that he quote knows.
Yes,
the person.
Right. And I wonder the same thing with Cary Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Bring home a 58-year-old guy
because you think 25. You know them.
Yes.
And
he comes in and he's all well dressed and speaks so well.
He's got a mascot.
That's right.
I mean, because that generation, if you watch one of those movies that are on TMC, they all speak very prim and proper.
Yes.
They all talk like this.
Yes.
It's like it's not English or British, but it's like that classic American.
Yeah, I think he was British. I think his mother was from Britain.
Oh, was he? Okay. Yeah. So he probably had a little accent.
We'll take a moment, and I will give you a new slang that's shaking up social media.
But good for Diane Cannon.
Diane Cannon, 88, still getting it on. I'm just saying, hey, I used to do a horrible joke, internet joke. It was a joke I got off the internet.
Okay.
And then I was doing some stand-up with the late Screech, Dustin Diamond.
Oh, yeah.
Rest in peace, Dustin Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
And I had dropped this joke from my act because it was a hack joke. It was just horrible. And it was pretty gross. But I used to go, you know it. Well, what is it? What's the joke?
About having relations with an old lady.
Yeah.
It's like pulling apart a grilled cheese sandwich.
There it is. That's it. And he did that joke on stage. And I was like, ooh, good thing I didn't do that.
But did it go over well?
No, it was just that he did it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't want to do raunchy material. That's why it's usually good to be fairly clean.
Yes.
Let whoever's headlining be the raunch.
Right.
Unless they're really clean and they go, yeah, be as filthy as you want. But it's usually
a lot of Hollywood actors who try comedy can't do comedy. Like David Koechner was terrible. I remember when he came to town. He was awful. He just wasn't funny. He just did lines from his movies and stuff. Like being Packer on The Office or doing the Anchorman shtick.
Yeah.
But I remember a story about Screech. And I remember when he died, I texted Tommy. I go, do you remember when Screech died? I go, do you remember when we had him in the studio? He goes, yeah, both times. Because you guys had him on before with Weeze. And I said, remember when he told Billy there was no way to monetize a podcast?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, what a jackass. Because if there was anybody who could do a podcast and monetize it, it's that dude.
Yeah.
Telling all the stories from Saved by the Bell.
It would have been huge.
He would have been huge.
Yeah,
you can't monetize it. And you actually started almost yelling at him. I remember this in the studio.
I was a dick.
No, you were honest.
This is my dick. I was a dick in my 40s.
Well, he's dead.
All right, we will we'll get into a new slang that is shaking up social media. People are trying to reclaim the word, or are they really? We'll get to that right after this.
of having only eyes for you, of letting you turn my crimson skies blue. Ooh, of hating you're somebody new, of getting hella jealous of the ground that's under you. Ooh, of going way too high.
Teddy Swims, this is Guilty.
He's had a few hits this year.
Yeah.
Last year or so.
Of needing you at the end of every night. I'm guilty, baby. I'm guilty, baby. I've been a bleeding heart in the crowd.
I always like that. It's some good stuff there.
He's very talented.
Yeah. There's a slang word that's been shaking up social media. The word, Dan,
Okay.
I don't think you've heard of it, but I'll see if you have.
For shizzle.
Bop.
Yeah, I've heard it, but probably not in the context that you're referring to.
Okay, what do you say bop is?
Bopping mean like having relations with somebody.
Yeah.
He's bopping her.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we used to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, our friend Tommy's saying, I think he's bopping her, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Bopping her. Okay.
Or bopping yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Or bopping the baloney.
Yeah, right.
Right?
That was the phrase. I don't know.
Or was it boffing the baloney?
That was bopping.
I think it was the bop.
My hearing sucks, so who knows?
The bop. Yeah. So that is exactly what bop is. And it is just funny that I think a lot of times we hear words and aren't really sure. So there's slang, and sometimes there's la la bop, and la la bop was a song
By Hanson?
No, it was making fun of a girl in California for her body count. They were going la la bop, la la bop, and like it's a kind of whole thing. I don't know, and it originated from the early 2000s slang, but I remember bop in terms of bop in from when I was a kid.
Yeah. Maybe it's one of those retro
I don't know
slangs. Like if we brought back the phrase living large, right?
Yeah. So they talked to somebody from the University of Sydney, who's a media expert.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Down under we go.
And they just go, it's a prime example of how misogyny finds new digital disguises. And I can't say that that's necessarily wrong as much as I go, oh, come on. But then I think, well, it's all about body count and slut shaming. And we don't usually do that with guys, at least not a lot of the guys. At least when I was young, it was like, hey, man.
The only difference between a stud and a slut are 2 letters.
Yeah.
Remember?
Exactly. And I think but that's the thing. And still to this day. So now some women have decided to reclaim the term. And they even have
Is this another Me Too situation?
a Bop House. It's a collective of young influencers flipping the term and embracing their brand and identity as the Bop House. I think they're adult stars and they have the Bop House.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So parents are panicking about Bop and their kids are online monetizing slut shaming. And it's like the Shark Tank OnlyFans. Here's the thing that I always wonder when people say we're taking back that word or we're taking back that.
There's certain
that
words in
phrase.
society that certain cultures or subcultures have, quote, taken
Yeah.
back.
And that
There are some that we can't say,
yeah, and
even
I'm okay.
on this podcast.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
I'm
with
okay
that.
not saying that.
I'm okay. I'm okay with them.
I understand the
having it.
sentiment behind it.
Yeah. But in this case,
Mhm.
the Bop, I say, are you trying to reclaim a term that is used to slut shame somebody? Or are you trying to, I don't know, commoditize, make money off your
slut? the attention industry.
Yes.
Like
It's
attention,
algorithm driven.
Yes, attention is the new information, which is the new oil, right? Like information was supposedly the new oil. If you struck oil, like now, so like that's why, like when you have your smartphone or Alexa in your house, sorry if I set off your safe word in your house, if you have Alexa, my wife has it. I hate it, But that now, like, attention is now another industry. It's a cottage industry where I'm the main character and I can make money off just being me, which is the laziest thing in the world.
Right.
But it's an industry
if you do it right.
If you do it correctly.
If you do it right, because I would make the argument, people get very upset with me. The Kardashians, what do they do? What do they do? And I go, they actually work hard. They actually work. They had something that people were interested in, and they ran with it, and they made it work. Because how many other people have tried reality shows of that type and haven't worked?
Well, Paris Hilton was the first to do what she did, and then the Kardashians took it to a whole
new level,
other stratosphere.
Right. I mean, they however they did it right, and that is a lot of work. I mean, it's not it's not digging ditch work, but it's work.
Like, I've heard people compare Kris Jenner to Bill Belichick, and I'm not joking.
Yeah, sure.
In terms of like the strategizing marketing her daughters.
Yeah. Right. I mean, talk about reclaiming something. You reclaim the sex tape. I don't know if it's a toxic PR, but it's certainly.
Well, the story was that she watched both. They did 2 sex tapes. That Kim and Ray J did 2 sex tapes, and she watched both of them like she was breaking down film. I'm not making this up. You could look this up. And she said, okay, go with this tape instead. I think that's the better tape. And as Rob Lowe has explained, you take this tape to a certain lawyer in Hollywood who then somehow releases it to the right person. And then you go, oh my gosh, I can't believe this video's out.
Is that what?
He said this to Oprah. Rob Lowe said this to Oprah, and all of a sudden it becomes a huge thing, right? Because he got caught on it.
Well, yeah, but
he got caught, though.
Yes.
That wasn't intentional.
No.
That fell into the wrong hands.
Yes.
This is a situation where ever since then, like, this
Tommy Lee's, I think Tommy Lee and
Pam's was accidental, too.
I think so. That was guys working on the house or building the house and moving a safe, and they got in there, and they saw the tape, and they did what guys did.
Yeah, Hulu did a whole thing on it. But yeah, I mean, but Rob Lowe said since those incidents have happened, now all of a sudden you have a sex
lawyer
tape.
There's a lawyer.
There's a dude that people go to get this whole thing on the road, and it worked out for the Kardashians. And Ryan Seacrest also knew them too.
Yeah,
and I think they were his first show under his production company.
Yeah,
when he became Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah,
and so then that took off to another level.
Right.
So, but bopping, they're taking back bopping.
They're taking back the word bop. Right, because I asked my kid, and it's one of these things like, basically it's your body count, and it's to slut shame. And I go, because I said to him, "What's a bop?" He goes, "Why?"
See, that's usually a question that the kid asks the parent, and the parent goes, "Why?"
No,
usually,
not Jameson. Jameson goes, "Why?" And I said, "Because I'm wondering what it means. It means slut." And I said, "Okay." But it's weird. Like, how do you have that conversation with your kid?
Oh, so she's a bop. It's not a verb. It's a noun.
Yeah.
Or descriptive noun. Okay.
She's a bop. Are you a bop? Yeah, she's a bop. It's meant to be that she's a slut. Right. Which is just bad. And by the way, let me just say something first.
By the way, the internet's forever, folks.
Let me stick up for sluts for just a minute
here. Okay.
The world needs sluts. It just does.
What the world
needs now is a good, nasty slut. You want the nasty, dirty.
Well, Instagram is available.
Yeah, slut. You want the slut. Sluts are good people. They're giving. They're loving. They're caring. They're giving of themselves. Right? They're not charging you. They're just lovely. You can have a nice evening with a slut.
Yeah, but they've done studies now on people who are in OnlyFans, women who are in OnlyFans and stuff.
Well, that's different.
Is it though? If you're monetizing your bop,
that's monetizing. I'm talking about just say a bop, and we're not monetizing, just a bop. And let's say it's a woman who's been divorced or widowed, as we heard. We heard the widowed term. We heard the widowed term last night from Matt. You get around. Is that necessarily bad for her? It'd be rude to call her the person a bop. If a guy did it, nobody says anything. But she's a bop. But in a way, if you heard at a certain she's a bop, you go, let me buy her a drink. Let's see what happens.
Oh, there's always somebody thinking that.
That's what I'm saying. You know? And if she's a bop, here's the other thing. Here's another thing, fellas, that you need to know about the sluts. She ain't sticking around. It's not a headache. Not a headache. She got the reputation because there's a lot. Body count's high. That means she probably leaves. Find somebody new.
I go back to Ric Flair. Did you ever see Ric
It's a
Flair's
joke.
Ric Flair's
Kidding, folks.
Ric Flair's documentary? He did 2 of them. He didn't like the one ESPN did on him, so he did his own on Peacock. Right? Because he didn't like the way ESPN made him look, even though everybody on the documentary was told to be honest about Ric Flair. And they asked Ric Flair, how many women have you been with? He goes, thousands. And he goes, ain't that terrible? And then he goes, that's not a happy thought. And that's a guy who is like, I mean, his whole brand is styling and profiling and everything else. I mean, I just can't imagine when you get to a certain point in your life looking back and thinking that, looking back and go, yeah, that was awesome. I don't know.
I've heard other people say, I wish I did that more.
Really?
Yeah. I wish I was a little freer with myself. I'm not saying one is right or wrong. I just think that that's the way. But
I think we get emotionally wrapped up in those things more than we think we do.
Yes. So somebody usually does.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can look at it as, forgive me, mutual masturbation,
Mm-hmm.
and other people put a lot of heart and soul into it. And those are the ones that get hurt. But there are sometimes the ones that have a high body count because they give of themselves so much, whatever. The only thing was, I just do wonder when I hear the thing like, we're going to reclaim that word bop. And I go, are you? Or are you just going to monetize some money off of it, make the bop house, and it's our word? Because nobody's going to stop calling you a bop, but they're going to pay to watch you in your bop house.
Yeah, it's a big pyramid scheme. The people at the top of the pyramid are going to make the money, and everybody else is going to try to do it, and all they're going to do is get a bad reputation.
Have you, there's all these trends and words, like the word bop. It's a slang term that's all over the internet. Have you ever seen these get ready with me videos?
No.
You've never seen that?
Get ready with me?
Yeah, it's a lot of times.
Are you just like getting ready for your day and taping it and hoping people take interest in it?
Yeah, you talk to people as they do it. You didn't know this? Gosh. I've been thinking about doing a get ready.
I used to think doing like cooking videos was lame.
All
right, so I'm going to have my soup.
Get ready with me to go to Billify.
Okay.
Right? Something like that. But there's a lot of times it's women.
Drive through Fairport,
like
play the
going,
Sopranos
hey,
theme.
I'm going on a date, and they'll put on their makeup and they talk. I met this guy, and I'm not sure. I'm a little nervous. Like they just talk. It's called Get Ready With Me. Well, this is a Get Ready With Me that I just absolutely love. This is my favorite Get Ready With Me ever. Here we go. You ready?
My 95th birthday. I can't believe it. My party starts in 10 minutes and I am rushing because my ex called me and said happy birthday to me. Never talk to your ex on your birthday. I learned that lesson at 95. I can't believe that I'm 95.
She looks great.
And I feel like 25. I think I'm the oldest girl on this app. Happy birthday to me. I'm going to wear my party earrings. Let me show you my birthday outfit.
This is
my birthday
This is exactly what the Get Ready With Me videos are like.
But it's going to mess my hair.
Lil, her name.
Get ready with me for my 95th birthday.
GRWM.
Yeah. Get ready with me for my 95th birthday.
No, I've never seen those.
You've never seen them?
No.
Or you're not on TikTok?
No, I'm not.
Dan, you're missing out on the whole world.
There's
all kinds of communication.
The Chinese don't need to know where
What are you talking about? Everybody knows where you are. I'm going to tell you something that happened last night. Listen to me closely.
They probably do.
Listen closely to me. Listen. Somebody in here brought up, probably me, Josh Allen's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, Brittany.
I didn't know
Brittany
her name.
Williams.
Did not know her name.
Britt Will.
Hang on. I did not know her name. Couldn't come up with it. And I just said how money can change the entire look of a person. Like she came, a few extra LBs, not unattractive at all. Not unattractive, but she was certainly, I thought she was Wyoming. I wouldn't have put her California, but I was like,
yeah.
So then Mark, who's all things gossip, says says that he hears the rumor is that she didn't hang out with the wives or girlfriends, but she would bring her own friends in and would treat everybody very snobbishly. She was just a snob.
Oh, okay.
Okay, as time went on. That according to gossip columnist Mark the Soldier.
He would know.
And
Mark would know.
I think we have to do gossip with Mark. Now that I think about it. So
You know what I'm hearing?
yes, exactly. So I put out like a promo because we didn't turn the I used the term we. It was me. I did not put the cameras on live last night. Thought I did. Switching cameras around, watching all the stuff on my monitor.
Hey,
Look good. Look great.
You're practicing.
So today I throw one up on TikTok that's a quote from Mark referring to Brittany, but I didn't know her name. I look over on my suggested follows on Instagram.
Britt will.
Yeah.
Britt will.
So I go, wait, is that?
Yeah.
Let me see. So then I'm looking through and I go, I can't tell. Because she's sort of, I forgive me, but she looks like every super attractive rich chick these days.
Yeah,
right?
pretty much.
She's an attractive rich chick. She just looks like every rich girl. I go to Park City, Utah. They all look like that. I've seen it. So I'm like,
The fuzzy boots and the spandex.
yeah. Well, all of it. All of it. The hair, the makeup.
Yeah.
There's a couple spots. What's the matter?
No, nothing. Go
You
ahead.
smelling something?
No, nothing.
The way you just look
No,
like
they
you
reminded me
smell
of
like you
somebody. The description reminded me of somebody.
Of who?
But no, nobody you know. Somebody from back home.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Holy
Sorry.
cow, that
Yeah.
fucking mind is bing, 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 bing. And so I'm looking at it and then I go, I think this is Josh Allen's ex-girlfriend. And I type in who is Josh Allen's ex-girlfriend. And it came up and I go, oh my God, tell me the devices aren't listening. I never said her name last night. I can't think that that's a coincidence.
Let's test it out. Here, I'm going to go to mine and see if she pops up.
Yeah.
I unfollowed her out of respect for Josh.
I never followed her,
Out of
and I
respect for
still don't follow her.
my quarterback.
I just went to look because I go, I think that's his ex-girlfriend. Then I couldn't remember.
I don't know where you get suggested friends. I mean, I think you have to scroll for a while before you find some suggested friends.
No, I thought it came up. Oh, I was posting something and it came up to the right.
Oh, okay.
While I was posting something on Instagram. Anyway,
But actually, one of your promos came up. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Shut up.
It's the promo from last night with Mark talking about it.
Yeah.
She was hanging out, not with the players' wives. She was bringing her own girlfriends to town.
Yeah.
Hanging out with them, being snobby to everybody. Mark the Soldier.
Yeah.
Every 15 minutes with the gossip report. He's like the Mike Sidoni of Billified. Yeah, it's so okay. So maybe you're right, man. Maybe because you just brought that up, and all of a sudden, what pops up on my Instagram?
It is weird.
Mark the Soldier talking about it.
It could be it could be coincidence, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, so the story is that if there's a Wi-Fi, well, let's put it this way. So I have an apartment, and our neighbors, run the Wi-Fi, and they have the internet, and we pay one price for everything. And so if somebody's looking up like mops or whatever, like on the other house, I'm like, why am I getting ads for mops? And be, I was looking up mops for my floor, but it all runs through the same Wi-Fi. So like if Mac is looking up stuff like tacks or nails and stuff, and you get ads for those, it's not because you looked it up or I looked up. It all comes from like whoever's looking up stuff through the Wi-Fi.
Oh,
the Wi-Fi service. It's not necessarily the phone. They want you to think. I don't know.
I don't either.
Find out.
It's pretty weird though.
It is.
And a lot of times when you talk about something, that's what happens.
Yes.
Well,
now Alexa, Bezos, and Amazon are saying that now they're selling all your information.
Yeah,
all of it. They're not even denying it anymore.
No, they're not.
Like they're just recording you all the time.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. my conversations with my wife about her day. Hey, you know what you need? A drink.
Ding dong, Amazon's here with wine.
Yeah, right.
All right, we'll take a moment. Dan, have we outsourced our personalities to algorithms?
Oh, I hope not.
I will explain
like we're already there.
What this big tech living is like and why I say that.
I have a theory about that, Billy.
I'm sure you do. We'll get to all that right after this.
It's never too late for a wide open slate, a kiss from a stranger, 1,000 first dates. You're an man, baby. To hell
This
with
is a new Elton
yesterday.
John with Brandy Carlisle, but I'm watching the video. It's all old footage of Elton,
Never too late.
like going back to when he was going bald.
Well, he's got to be selling a catalog soon.
Oh, he's old.
To go shoot out
I guess like they have this kind of
Turned into everybody's favorite dance.
yeah. Well, he and Brandy Carlisle have this partnership now, where like he had with Bernie Taupin.
Oh, really?
She's like writing lyrics and he's writing music around them, and they're collaborating. They did a whole special on CBS on Sunday with it.
This week?
I think so. Yeah.
God damn it! I missed it. How did I
You
miss
might
that?
find it on Paramount. I wanted to watch it, but my wife wasn't in the mood to watch it, so I changed channel. What? Well, she's not into it. I just thought I was curious about it.
I'm gonna get muscle grips.
Why am I a clown? Do I amuse you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The answer is yes. You fucking abused the shit out of me tonight. Well, I didn't watch it because my wife. Why? Just don't watch it then. Go back and watch it.
Yeah, I could do that.
Elton John, super talented. My God, what a talent! You know.
He was a savant.
Yeah.
Every one of his fingers was insured by Lloyd's of London for $1 million each.
Oh, here's Brandy.
We won't ever know. It's a slow dance on a carousel, a walk in the snow. Don't let it cross your mind. Keep a smile upon your lips. Spin round the sun like the veil never slips.
Funny thing is, I've heard stories. I've never seen Elton in concert.
Yeah.
And I remember once sitting down with Steve Tasker. We were at a dinner,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
and Steve Tasker was talking about the difference between Billy Joel and Elton John were touring together.
Yeah, yeah,
And he said the differences between the performances.
yeah.
And he said
Okay.
Billy Joel is not the musician Elton John is,
I agree with that.
but he's 5 times the entertainer. Billy Joel puts on a show. Elton John can't entertain. That's why he's got to wear the outfits and the glasses.
Well, he used to.
But he's got no showmanship. Where Billy
Oh.
Joel is all showmanship.
Okay, that may
I'm
be-
asking you because you probably have seen both of these
I
guys.
have not seen Elton.
I've seen Billy Joel's like MSG
I wish I
concert
went and
specials.
saw the Billy Elton John.
Yeah, they had the
God,
dueling pianos.
Yeah, I wish I did.
Then
do
they had a
that.
falling out, and then they asked about each about it, and they didn't know what it was about. They just had a falling out.
Yeah.
It was like more of a miscommunication thing, and they decided, I think, at one point they were going to go back on tour, but I don't think it happened.
No. Wow. Wow, I did not know that at all.
But Billy Joel in concerts, I guess, is hysterical.
Yes, I have seen Billy
Where
Joel
Elton's
many
he's just performing the songs, but he's all dressed up in a funny outfit because he has no
times. It
showmanship.
looks like back in the 70s he did put on a show, but I don't know.
He may have.
I don't know. I didn't get to see any of that stuff. I asked this because Elton John, super talent and the personality to wear and pull off those outfits, the diamond studded Dodgers outfit or the sequin studded outfit. Billy Joel kind of just being that Long Island guy, leather jacket, almost 50s style, like, you know, doo-wop influence on him for sure. But there were personalities, and I look at things now and I try to go, where everybody's personality, everybody who's done anything started out doing it by mimicking somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
And you can tell it in comedy. You can tell it on radio to a certain extent. You could probably tell on TV, all kinds of, it's just like that's a derivative of, or, hey, you idolize so-and-so. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I start to think, like, are we still making real choices in our life, or is big tech taking over? And the reason I say that is, you brought up, or we talked about the phones listening to us, but I would even say, like, if you're on a dating app, the suggestions you get, is it really you know what I mean? Like, it's suggested to you, and shows you watch, they're suggested to you based on what you've watched previously. So it's AI making a decision based on decisions you previously made. And I go, I'm not sure if they, like, do you want your type curated for you?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Am I
call,
making any sense here?
Yes, I call it the delusion of choice. Not the illusion of choice.
Yes, the delusion of choice.
The delusion being you think you have the choice.
Because
and you don't.
You and I
you have the choice of the choice.
Right. And you and I are old enough to remember life before algorithms.
Yes.
Before there was any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm. We had to do our own homework.
I mean, it's algorithm driven everything now in terms of stuff. And I mean, you think now you got things like Spotify, TikTok, Netflix, even dating apps.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What is it? Bumble? I heard somebody talk about Bumble.
Bumble, Tinder, Plenty of Fish, Hinge.
Yeah. Yeah. What is okay. It just makes me laugh.
I was on Bumble.
Okay.
I was single.
Was that one that you asked people,
women? You try to match up, but they have to make the first move.
I got
it
you.
empowers the women.
Does it?
Yes. So supposedly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I go, look, man, sometimes people are trying to reinvent themselves, not reinvent themselves, but rediscover, right? Marriage, life choices, changes, career pivots, whatever, kids, life goes on. And now you're kind of standing there and you're trying to go get back out in the world, so to speak. And everything is sort of an algorithm now. And if I'm not in your algorithm, then I'm not going to see you.
Right.
And I think that's a kind of a weird way to live.
Well, it is. I mean, I'm a recruiter, and in LinkedIn, we're subject to the algorithm too. And we've actually put in the same information at work, all of us, the same information to try to find the same batch of candidates, and all our lists were different. So it's a matter of just getting lucky and finding the right person who wants to respond and actually take the role and go through the process. It's everything's algorithm.
Well,
it sucks.
Okay, so here's more of my, I don't know how you would categorize this question, but I think it is one that will make people think. At least it's one that's been rolling around in my head for a couple weeks. How can you have any growth in yourself if your algorithm reflects back to you your current state of mind 24/7?
That's a great question.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
You're living in your own personal echo chamber.
Exactly. Because what I'm saying is, like, if you're looking for personal growth, if you want to break out of whatever slump you feel like you're in, whatever.
You're not going to do that if you keep listening and seeing the same stuff fed to you.
Exactly.
Like, for example, if I were a conservative or a liberal and I only watch liberal or conservative YouTube videos, I'm only going to be fed one side or the other. Right. I'm never going to get both sides. Right. I'm never going to get both perspectives. Right. And I'm just going to go down that path and just become more and more of a jackwaggon.
Well, take it away from even politics, because sometimes that gets ugly with people, right? People get a little offended. What I'm saying is, let's say it's one of these things where I want to get myself, I got to get fired up. I got to get to the gym. I want to do this. And yet I've been liking a lot of like homemade pizza things.
Oh yeah,
how to make homemade pizza.
Oh, I get those Instagram food videos.
That was my Friday mood, right? My Friday mood. And I go, oh, I like that one. Oh, that one looks good. You kind of go down a little bit of a hole. And all right. And then now it's all these different recipes coming at you that you lose. And I know this is a bit of a stretch, but you lose the motivation to go to the gym because, hey, what's a little ice cream? Hey,
this is a healthy way to make Snickers.
Yes.
So I don't have to go to the gym. I could just eat these.
Is it laziness? Is it convenience?
I think it's a little bit of both. And the addiction of keeping you scrolling.
I think it's completely different. I think that it's disguised as laziness. It's spoken as convenience. And I think if we really look at it, it's total surrender. You've surrendered to this without knowing you've surrendered to this. There's nothing wrong with looking at TikTok. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm starting to think, like, if you can give yourself some time without it, if you can actually put turn on the do not disturb and just put it away and give yourself, even if it's 45 minutes, a half hour, I don't know, where you're not looking and we have terms now, doom scrolling, and I'm an ADHD person. And then we hear that all the ads are, do you have high cortisol? This is a sign of high cortisol. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm not a doctor. At this point,
I have everything.
Yes, I'm not a doctor.
Thanks, Instagram.
But it's going to keep reflecting that back to you, because that's all the shit you look at all the time, and you like it.
I got algorithms.
Do you know what I'm
fish,
saying?
For freaking fish oil. I mean, yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say is like, so if you're looking to even try to improve yourself, and are there ways on these devices that you can find to improve yourself? Absolutely. I'm sure there are. But I would also say when you find them, put this down.
Put the phone down.
For a little bit and go do it, because everything's an algorithm. And you may not even be seeing a great choice for you if you're dating. And look, maybe you want to be like Diane Cannon and have friends with benefits. Hers have Social Security, yours has chlamydia. But you know what I'm saying? Like you could have, I don't know. It was just something that was very.
The algorithm didn't sniff that out.
Yeah, because I had a flattering moment last week, and I stopped in to see Damien, and I had lunch over there. It was late on Friday, and then I probably stayed longer than I ever intended, but it's usually what happens to me. And I wasn't late. It was like 5:30 when I left. But there was a woman there, and she was talking about to somebody else, and I was talking whatever, that she's on some dating apps and this and that and the other thing. And she's like, she goes, "Are you on dating apps?" And I said, "No, I don't want to. I don't want that." And yet, I guess maybe it's like shooting fish in a barrel. I don't know.
My wife and I did not meet on a dating app. I'm very happy about that, because I think it makes everything a meat market. And I'm not talking just dating. I'm talking everything. Everything is now a product. You are the product. Yeah. You're the product. I mean, yeah. I think that was the social. There was this one documentary around during COVID, talked about social media. I think it was called The Social Problem or something like that. I don't know it was on Netflix. And in essence, you are the product. Yeah. They've studied, like, in Las Vegas, the slot machines, how it gets, and the noises and the bright lights. Yes. And you keep spinning. Why? Because you want a better story coming up. You want better stuff. You want a better feed. And so the idea is to keep you scrolling, so that you'll buy something, or you'll do, and then. Well, I mean, look, take it to something really simple. How many people have bought shit on Amazon because it was suggested? Oh yeah. Well, you bought this. You might like this. You know what I'm saying? Right. And you probably would. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong. But it just seems like to me, when you go more, is it our personality or our personalities being told to us and letting us not discover that? I think there's more to the human being than the digital stuff. I think, I wonder, and I don't know, I'm watching young people like my son's age, just to kind of see what is and what isn't with them. And I don't know if my kids I don't know, because I haven't talked to other people who have kids about that age. But these are guys who have jobs, work. They do certainly like their shows and things like that. But there's not a whole lot of social media stuff other than showing you what they're doing. But I don't know. I see like less and less. And I wonder if they'll even get burned out. Like one of my guys goes to church every week, loves it, goes to the gym, does that sort of thing. Reading is sort of a lost thing. Right. I don't, but yet all the bookstores are around. So I don't know, maybe it's helping people. There's an author, a horror author in Greece who does really well. She's all over social media and does a great job. So I just think, like, I guess the saying would be all things in moderation. But I go, if it's 24/7, you reflecting back your mood from last week or whatever, you're never going to get out of that rut. Yeah, I agree. It's scary in a way. I mean, you're kind of you're only hurting yourself. You're only cheating yourself, right? If you don't branch out, you got to be able to put that phone down. They say, like, try to put the phone away 2 hours before bed. No screens. That includes the TV, and if you have to, wear blue blockers. Some comments. Bill just wants to choke and get out. This is a reference to you being choked. Some of us can't be put back into the wild for the good of the public. Amen. Somebody says they saw both Elton John and Billy Joel, and they rocked. They both rocked. Yeah, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did. They're both great performers. It's just Billy Joel's more of the performer. Yeah. Elton's more of the savant. Right. But So we'll probably get videos from Billy Joel, Elton John, and Bruce Springsteen tonight.
Yes, we
If we go
probably
to
will.
YouTube on our
That'll
phone
be
or
fantastic.
Instagram or whatever. Yeah, I got off Facebook in like 2020, and I don't regret it. I don't miss it because you get stuck. I got stuck in this loop of banned people's drama, right? And so it's like, is this all I'm going to get? Am I not going to get like other old friends from high school telling me about their kids or telling me about this, that? All I got was like complaining about politics and band drama. Yeah. And it was just like, I'm just sick of this crap. It's just, that was my algorithm.
I don't really even, I'll scroll through it a little bit. I don't know. I mostly post for the podcast up there, but I don't.
The other thing too is like on Instagram, I do have an Instagram account, and on my Instagram account, I get a lot of videos for health tips, workout videos and stuff. But not everything's a good idea.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, of course.
What
It's common sense.
What supplements
It's
are
not just supplements. It's just ideas.
Hey, Dan, want to have big muscles like me?
Yeah, right.
And small balls?
These are the only
Try
three.
this.
45. These are the only 3 exercises you need.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That probably. I'm sure that's out there. That's my thing. He's like,
the thing is, I bookmarked these. I got 10 bookmarks of the only 3 exercises you need, and they're all different. So I must need like 70 exercises. And then my point is, who has time for all this?
Nobody.
You know, if you could drain your lymphatic system by just doing these 4 things every morning. Who has time? Right? If you want to have brownies without the sugar, who has time?
Yeah, but
I do apparently because I'm scrolling.
Yes,
that's the problem.
Well, that's
that's
thing.
my point.
Hey, look, I will say this in closing. I think as human beings, we are all capable of much more than we do,
right?
Than we even believe.
Thanks,
right?
Rockefellers.
That you can really push yourself. Mm-hmm. And Sean McCarthy, who's helping put on the Hoochie Fest.
Oh, yeah.
McCarthy Tents, sat in the chair where you are.
Great American.
And he said that at the end of the day, he always asks, did I do enough, or did I get it all done today, or whatever? And that's a different question than, but think of the amount of time we're on the phone, distracted. Take a look next time you're at a traffic light. Take a look around. Just glance and just see how many people you see on their phone. It's like it's become an appendage. And I don't know. I have another friend who has written and published a book and written a course and cut all kinds of videos to help his daughter send to recruiters for a D1 school that she did get accepted to for field hockey, all this stuff. And I go, where do you find the time? I don't watch TV. I'm not looking at social media all the time. The people that are making the shit that you want to make aren't doing what you're doing. They're not looking at their phone.
No.
They're out doing something.
Yep.
They're making it happen. They're writing. They're spending time on themselves. And sometimes that you'll see things on social media that say disappear and become a different person in 6 months. Probably could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Probably could happen. They want you to probably sign up for whatever bullshit.
And I will give you all 30 points if you sign up.
But my point is, you have it in you. You know what the right thing to do is. Laziness, convenience, or is it surrender? I'm not sure. I'll call it surrender.
I'll tell you this. When I have gone downstairs in the basement to work out and I've taken my phone with me and accidentally left the phone down there and gone back upstairs, and I've gone 2 or 3 hours without my phone to realize, hey, where was my phone?
Right.
And then I realized, oh my gosh, I didn't need the damn phone.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Didn't need it.
Just put it on do not disturb. And if somebody really wants to get you, you call twice and I think it breaks
Or they'll
through.
call your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Find you.
Yeah, that's all. But I
or
would
they'll
say
call Jameson.
You're capable of doing
Hey, get
more.
off the diss track and get your father on the phone.
Yeah. You're capable of doing more. That's what I'm saying.
Don't watch the video. Be the video. Only don't take it.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, go do it.
Yeah.
What's the worst that's going to happen? You're either going to be right where you were or further along than you thought you would be.
Marcellus Wiley always had a phrase. He goes, it was Roland Williams. He said, a year from today, you're going to wish you started today.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. It's a great one.
Mm-hmm.
I just had this similar conversation with my kid. He goes, I got my grades to a X and Y. I'm not going to say what they are. And I go, okay, you don't seem like you're happy. I go, because I knew you could do it. and I think you're even capable of even more.
Mhm.
Right? I'm going to push. I'm going to need a little bit.
But if you click on this video, I can help you get those grades even.
For Dan Barillo, I'm Bill Moran. We haven't outsourced our personalities here on Billified.
I haven't.
She was shivering in the dark, wild bird her a ride. She banged out later for a car.